Shot puppets! I need a puppet! Basically dolls that can move their mouths. An underrated concept, but did you know that puppetry is still technically considered a form of animation? Puppetry is fairly common, and I'm pretty sure for a lot of you guys. But for this list, I'm gonna go with the obscure, legitimately creepy ones. Crash and Bernstein. The show is so fucking weird. I'm pretty sure any network has been desperate at a certain point in time and had to resort to the cool boy and edgy boy stereotypes of the mid 2010s at the time. And Disney was no exception with their shitty show Crash and Bernstein. But rather than using live action characters, Disney thought they would put in at least a little bit of effort this time and use character in the form of a puppet named Crash, I think, right? And then the other kid's named Bernstein. Hey, it's so embarrassed to say it, but I used to like this show because it was one of the very few shows on Netflix. Again, I didn't grow up watching TV, but this show I remember binging while eating that processed McChicken at my shitty, like creepy neighborhood childhood house. Ugh, horrible time. But this show, does it hold up? God no. But I will say, you would think that the idea of them using a puppet as one of the main characters would pay off to at least be unique. And I guess it kind of does because this is still a Disney show. But there's nothing special about it. It's just that, a shitty sitcom. But they added a puppet character. Crash is your typical, rebel stereotype. Bernstein's like somewhat logical. I don't even remember too much from this show because they didn't even have that many episodes available. I gotta say, a lot of missed potential considering that they used the puppet as main character. But that ain't show, man. Like KSI sounding in show. Think I need that, man. A lot of missed opportunities. Though it did give birth to that great.
It's not even alive. He's dead.
Meaty show, get this, based on a teenage best friend duo working at a fast food joint using hideous puppetry. And get this, if you Google the series, it's labeled as a horror in the genre category. And deadass, it's unironically for a reason. You can't get past the hideous animation. Puppetry, obviously and understandably. But not really. No, fuck that. I take it back completely. Puppetry is such a unique concept, especially when it comes to, again, animation. But it does not do justice here. But I guess in the sense that it is a horror themed show, it does the horror elements decently, maybe a little too good. There's one episode where that centers around one of the characters getting a tapeworm, and the ending doesn't even feature them. Like, I guess it kind of features them getting rid of the tapeworm, but it ends up going to another customer. I don't even know what to say about this show. One of the characters looks like one of these kids I used to know in school. Back when I used to make shitty SoundCloud raps, I played that out. I feel like, even though I'm not a 90s kid, I feel like I could generally just imagine seeing this show come on in between reruns of SpongeBob and the Fairly Odd Parents and switching to Cartoon Network if that wasn't the channel I was on already. But enough of my fanboying and dick riding and glazing. God, nasty. But Mr. Meaty, I guess, does one thing right, and that is make its one decent and bad thing its selling point. It's grotesque and ugly imagery being hideous, and the puppet element makes it all the more creepy and unsettling with their hands moving around like strings and shit. Obviously, the show didn't go on for long, and I can't even imagine who would even watch it willingly, but it existed, and maybe this is probably why Nickelodeon never really delved into puppetry again. I'm not gonna lie, I don't blame them. Next. No! Oh my god, I was about to end this video, but I just couldn't because this fucking Jeff, definitely, for me at least, because my name list deserves a spot on this list. And fuck it, I'll put it number 1, cause why not? Man, I miss the old SML, but even though they still use puppets in a way, still, like Brooklyn Guy and Mr. Goodman and probably a handful of others, even the new characters, like Mario and Bowser Jr. that have been converted into human puppets. But I know to a random person watching this looks like a little kid show. But long fucking story short, SML was a, I guess, Nintendo parody YouTube channel that focused around Mario Jr., like funny skits, kinda. I don't know how to say it and put it into words. I remember watching this show when I was 12, and up until the whole lawsuit with Nintendo happened in 2021, even now I couldn't lie, I stopped watching it. But I can't lie, Super Luigi Logan was the best and edgiest, and hands down the funniest looking back at it, era of Super Mario Logan. And I even remember watching the show before school in 8th grade, which is probably when the show peaked, back in 2016, early 2017. And even my father, as I was eating breakfast, he looked at my phone, which is what I was watching it on, and looked interested because it was the scene with Mr. Goodman. And I know just from a random perspective, puppetry in general is not utilized often. So it's funny to see that it's still utilized, at least in some ways, but goddamn does it pull it off most of the time. I just thought SNL deserves it because Again, puppetry is not really utilized well, and a show like SNL, for me at least, had an impact, and I think deserved a spot on this list. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys can agree. Let me know what other shows that use puppetry that aren't so well known in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. You made it to the end. I appreciate it. Check out my other videos too. Peace.